Hello, dear friends, my lovely audience. Welcome to the East-West Show. Jack Chow on the East-West Show with GNE TV. Today with me once again on the weekly update is my good friend, Ken Hemming. Mr. Ken Hemming is my backbone, and he's the backbone to the community too. To the EDI team, he is just an extra, member on the team.
I appreciate it.
And as a matter of fact, extra is not a word, an important member of the team. And I'm proud of him for his mindset. I love for that beautiful mindset. And for many of the time, we argue a lot, but we make points clear. So that's why we earn the friendship through agreeing each other, disagreeing each other, arguing each other whatsoever.
Correct.
And then everything works towards the final goal, which is friendship. So with that as a lead line, you're welcome to the show again.
Jack, and my dream comes true every Wednesday for an hour when I'm with you and your viewers.
Very good.
So this is such an honor for me, and I'm humble and I'm happy.
It would be a lot better if there are 2 Wednesdays in a week, right?
That's right.
Make it 8 days
Absolutely.
a week.
No,
Yeah, right.
this is because we really have important things to discuss and to share, and we come from different viewpoints sometimes, which then allows your viewers to have options in how they think.
Yeah, you're right. Not only those issues are important, but the way that we discuss the issues, the important issues, are important too.
We do it with
Because
purity.
we show where everybody stands, and we argue. It's not that kind of, in other shows, the host is always a host. Mm-hmm. It's like a god sitting there doing nothing, right?
Correct.
And then
Right.
goes with question after question after question. Whatever you say, right? So that's the style that they do.
Right.
When we are in, everybody plays a role. A role A and role B. Agree, not agree, argue, not argue. We do it different way.
We're both proactive verbal people.
Very
We
good.
like to share our thoughts.
I like that way. I like that definition of that way, please.
Thank you.
Now, only to start with, the first on top is not a very happy news. Senator John McCain of Arizona had passed away. And I'm glad that he passed away in a way that he, kept his dignity.
Very peaceful, yes.
Very peaceful. And it's so dramatic that he, only a day ago, asked to unplug himself.
Yeah, right.
And the second day, he passed away.
Right.
Another word.
It was time.
In other words, he did not suffer in time between.
Right.
Right.
He was heavily medicated before that, and he said, "My time is over. I'm coming to heaven."
Let's do it.
Yes.
And then that's kind of like,
And I think you would do the same. I know I would do the same.
yeah, if we would be allowed with that kind of freedom, though.
Right.
That's the best way to die.
Right.
And die with dignity, die with glory.
Right.
And of course, and I believe
Non-violent and peaceful.
Yeah, non-violent and peaceful. And you are missed even more by doing that.
Correct.
By dying that way, right? To Senator John McCain, I would say he is quite a character for our time. Not only that he did his time, he did his service to the country during Vietnam War.
Yes.
And after that, ever after, he stood really like a fighter for our freedom. So, you want to give some eulogy about him,
Well,
or not necessarily, but your take?
I have comments. Okay, it's kind of
please.
interesting. Number one, he comes from a family of Navy people. His father and grandfather were both admirals in the Navy. Now that's pretty good, because you don't get to be an admiral unless you move up the ranks pretty good with good leadership skills.
Of course, yeah.
Also at Annapolis, where he went to the military school, he was the sixth from the bottom in terms of ranking for grades and that. He says, yes, I wasn't a great student. He said, but I had a lot of good. He says, I don't know how 5 people were worse than me. So he had a lot of humor in him, okay? And then he became a fighter pilot, and he was shot down over Vietnam, spent 5 years in prison, and when the Korea with North Vietnam offered him to come home early because his dad, and they wanted to use him as a political tool because his dad was an admiral, and then it would show everybody's not treated the same. He was man enough to refuse to come back where his friends were still there. He says no, and they beat him up real bad, broke his arm, and just about killed him.
That's exactly the part I really want to pinpoint to my audience is it is not everybody has the guts to do what he has done.
Right. That was heroic.
Yeah, that's very heroic.
Brave.
And the story was that when North Vietnam learned who the father was, who the grandfather was,
right,
both admirals, they wanted to do United States a favor, to use that as an exchange or something. To let him go first.
Well, what happened, when he gets shot down, he lands in water, and a bunch of Vietnamese come around there, and unfortunately they didn't kill him, but they didn't treat him very well. And then he got picked up, and then the American papers said, oh, this son of an admiral got shot down, and the Vietnamese otherwise wouldn't have known he was the son of an admiral. He could have just told them his name, they wouldn't know anything, and he'd probably be better off. So it didn't do him a lot of good.
That was probably one of the efforts trying to rescue him.
Well,
could be.
Well,
the American media let that information out to impress them upon. So he's the son of admirals.
Well, they shouldn't have done it, but they had to, I guess. And also, those people didn't really rescue him. They wanted to capture him and have him probably killed or tortured or something.
In whatever way they did,
it wasn't a beautiful rescue.
Yeah, in whatever way they did, though. Senator McCain stood strong.
He stood strong, right.
He stood man enough.
Right.
Man enough.
And
very,
also,
very
what they say is that McCain then, too, after he was kind of beat up and broken bones and everything, he was sort of planning a suicide. And they found some notes that showed he was planning a suicide, and they wouldn't let him do it. They controlled him so he couldn't do that.
That indicated how much he suffered.
Absolutely, yeah. He said, well, and he already was married with 3 kids.
Yeah, nobody in their right mind. Right. Married with 3 kids would end up in a suicide.
And
that
also
really indicated.
And you'll remember President Trump got in all kinds of trouble when he said, well, getting shot down and captured, that doesn't make you a hero. Now, I agree with President Trump on that. There's hundreds of thousands of people that are captured there. Now, we can say anybody that puts on a uniform, picks up a gun or an airplane, and defends America, that's heroic. But it's also the job and the duty of volunteering for that service. So you have to see, the word hero means you're doing something above and beyond the call of duty.
For him to fly there, for him to fight, for him to be the fighter pilot, that's not a heroic part.
Right, that's his job.
There's lots of people doing that, right?
Right, yes, sir.
For him, to refuse to be let free
was heroic.
Was very heroic.
Gallant, patriotic,
very
heroic.
Very heroic. Yeah, right. It is not everybody has the guts, because you could die any moment.
Absolutely.
Any blink of an eye. Any blink of an eye. Those animals, they kill.
Yeah.
They kill easy, right?
Very easy.
So when you have a survival, you better grasp it. When you better survive.
Yeah.
Right.
Survival is really
for him to refuse. Say, no. I will go until everybody of my comrades
we go back
captured
together.
Before me.
Yeah. And
released.
after. Yeah.
Right. So he did that way. So that is the part. If anybody denying that as a heroic act, though, I have a big problem.
Right, and nobody has denied that. President Trump didn't deny that. That was heroic. And also, I just saw yesterday one of his cellmates in prison in North Vietnam interviewed. He's still alive and, about McCain's age and that. McCain's 81. And, you know, I mean, he was talking about how life was in prison and how they weren't treated very well, how they didn't eat very well, but they did survive. Not all of them survived, by the way. Many died in captivity. And then he comes back and still at a very young age was able to be elected into Congress, in which I'm not sure exactly how many terms that he was, maybe 3, and then he had 6 terms in the Senate, and that's 36 years. So, because they said he's been in public service for 61 years, so he got in it, you know, when he was very young. And you know, the one thing, he was always very independent. He was not really a very committed Republican to particularly to President Trump's agenda, and they disagreed on about everything. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, when his vote would have reversed Obamacare, at 2 in the morning, he went thumbs down in the Senate, and that's something that's upset me quite a bit. But anyway, he's getting, right now as we speak, he's on viewing in Arizona for about 24 hours. Then he comes to Washington, D.C.
That is exactly
very controversial.
No, to me, okay, now, you may hold your different views from me, right? But to me, that's exactly the glorious part that he did.
What?
Right?
Thumbs down?
Yeah, thumbs down.
Wow.
Because he dares to stand tall, knowingly he was the only one. Knowingly he was a decisive. No, he was a decisive
He was
one.
the decisive vote.
He was decisive vote.
Jack, and he ran, his whole campaign was to overturn Obamacare. He said it all the time, every time when he's running his campaign, and then he did not come through with his promise. And one thing you can say, President Trump's meeting his promises the best he can.
Yeah, well, I don't care who else keeps the promises. You're talking about a rotation situation, a rolling action, right? Okay. At that very moment, though, when Donald Trump did not have his Trumpcare ready, and it's much better for the United States to keep the whatever is available. Okay, so that's why he did his decisive vote by thumbs down.
Rudely. Okay, we disagree on this 100%.
Okay, we disagree 100%.
And I love you.
I can go ahead and argue another day with you.
Right. So no reason to.
No reason to.
Right.
It, right.
But so
especially on the day when the whole country is eulogizing him,
right?
We will save it for another day. How about that?
Oh yeah, but then he goes to D.C. and there'll be some viewing in Washington D.C. and then I think it's premature when they start wanting to rename buildings after him. Let him be buried, rest in peace, and then talk about what you want to do.
Let him rest first.
Yeah, let him rest. And one thing I have to say, now the radical left media is saying all these glorious things about McCain. All right. That's nice. They're saying what a wonderful, what a great, blah, blah, blah. In 2008, when he ran for president, they called him a racist, a white supremacist. They called him every name in the world. The hypocrisy of our media is like ridiculously disgusting.
Like I said, it's a rotation. It's a changing thing.
They're just lying now.
We are moving. All right? Yeah. We are slow moving whatsoever. Okay, anyway. My dear friend.
That was exciting.
It was exciting. My dear friend, with Ken Hemming, we started this weekly update. However, the first subject for a heroic man.
Rest in peace.
For Mr. John McCain, Senator John McCain. May his soul rest in peace.
Yes.
Right.
God bless him.
Let's take a short moment out. We come back, pick up others. We have a lot. Hello, dear friends, my lovely audiences, my dear fellow Americans. Welcome back to the show. Jack Chow on the East West Show with GNE TV. Today with my friend Ken Hemming on the weekly update. And we also want to touch base with you about the big event for last week. That was the U.S. and the Mexico agreement on trade. That was quite a move. I'm ready for your comment, sir, how significant that is.
it's a victory for Trump's promise to try to negotiate better deals for American workers, and also to help Mexico. And this, they're calling it now because, see, it was all Canada, Mexico, United States make up the countries in what was NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement. And this is breaking out of NAFTA because President Trump and many people think that it was to our disadvantage and to the advantages of Canada and Mexico, way over ours, okay? So now they're calling it the United States-Mexico Trade Agreement because it's bilateral, not trilateral. And they had a beautiful announcement, and there were the negotiating team from Mexico was in the Oval Office, and also Trump's representatives. And it was very nice. I listened to a 19-minute conversation between President Trump and
telephone conversation.
Well, with telephone conversation and Nieto of Mexico. And of course, the Mexican president spoke, it took time, had to translate. He spoke in Spanish, which is fine. But it was real nice because they were both speaking highly of each other. And everyone said that it's going to be very hard to complete an agreement with Mexico. Well, I think they all worked hard at it. And the main areas of emphasis in this are automobile industry, and where there's got to be at least 45% of all components that go into cars in Mexico that then get exported into America are American built pieces. And also, so the auto industry is a real big deal and President Trump has agreed there'll be no tariffs on cars coming in from Mexico if the northern workers in Mexico are paid at least $15 an hour.
Are they exporting cars to us?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They do have cars made in Mexico?
Tons of them, yes, yeah.
What kind of cars? I haven't seen one.
Absolutely cars, sure.
No. Are they exporting?
Well, yeah,
exporting
they're
in
built
Mexico
in
cars.
Mexico and then come across the border and be sold in America. Absolutely, lots of them. Hundreds of thousands or millions of them, yeah. Because the workers are cheaper down there.
I haven't heard of any.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So, can you name any of the cars?
Oh, I don't know, Chevys, Fords. Like Chevys and Fords, they've opened plants down there.
Chevy Sports are American cars.
A lot of American cars are made in different country and then brought in here. Even some in Europe that come back to America. They're not all made in America. This is why Detroit went to heck, okay, which was the capital of the automobile industry. So this is going to help the automobile workers there, and it's going to help our people here, and it's a win-win. The other area is on agricultural products. There's going to be free trade, no tariffs which allows pretty open competition between Mexican fruit and vegetables and stuff and American. So, and the conversation was so mutually pleasant, and the president of Mexico stated he admired the leadership of President Trump, and I'm sure a lot of people go, "Well, guy, how that?" And now here's what happens. Then the emphasis now is on Canada, because this is a bilateral. Now I just listened to the.
Yeah, let's focus on Mexico a little bit, a little more. Right?
So they have to put it into Congress, and then they got 90 days.
We'll talk about Canada when we come back, though. On this whole thing, did they have a chance or ever had a chance, or it was not reported yet, talk about the migrant workers?
No.
That's a bigger issue.
Well, they're all big issues, okay? Like I totally support
a bigger issue.
Well, they're all really important, Jack. Now, I'm not sure what you're saying about migrant workers, but I accept someone coming over here legally, work for 3 months, and go back home, and that's what we used to do.
So they didn't talk about that?
No, this was all on trade. Nothing to do with workers. It had to do with workers in Mexico getting paid.
Workers included in the trade talks?
No. It's a different subject.
I see.
Right.
I see.
But it's a big deal, and there was a lot of joy, and then there's a good prediction that Canada will come on board in this deal by Friday. I listened to the lady chief negotiator from Canada this morning. They're working almost 24 hours a day on it. She meets with our chief negotiator at 5 o'clock Eastern time tonight, and there's just a lot of rumors that something can be accomplished by Friday. So next Wednesday, we hope to have an announcement and be able to share that.
In 2 more days,
Right. But so, and now I like bilateral versus multilateral too, because it's easier. Now, President Trump had wanted to have every 5 years we review the thing and make some adjustments if necessary. This one is good for 16 years. After 6 years, they reevaluate it, and then if they make any tweaks, then it's another 16 years. So, because they want a longer period of time that's effective, so people
President
can
Donald
have
Trump says,
long-term
yeah.
planning for their business decisions.
All right, good. President
good.
Donald Trump says that Canada can't wait.
If they don't want to,
What does that mean when he says Canada can wait?
If they don't want to get into this agreement, into an agreement with America and Mexico, then President Trump says we'll put tariff on cars that are imported from Canada into America this tariff thing, it's like poker chips. It's pressure. And it makes them come to the table. If they just don't agree to anything and there's no penalty, why are they going to agree when it's working in their favor?
No restrictions at all.
So like I always say this: Trump is smarter than all of us put together because he has his plans, and and a lot of people go, "Oh, tariffs are no good. They're no good." Well, we're not going to have tariffs for the next 20 years. We're going to negotiate deals so we don't have to have them.
Exactly. During the early months. And it was quite under the impression, I believe everybody was probably under the impression that President Donald Trump was the kind of a freestyle, right? He would just go, like, say, write your free hand whatsoever, and it goes wherever he says.
He knows what he's doing.
Now it looks that he has the thing well planned, and the plan is well kept.
And it doesn't always work, okay? For example, right now we're having troubles again with North Korea. And so Trump says, okay, we're going to start doing military exercises with South Korea again. He delayed that, okay, when Kim said that, yeah, we'll denuclearize. And it seems like China's taken some pressure off them to do it too, apparently. And so we're going to start, and if they shoot off a intercontinental ballistic missile, trying to test it and see if it can come to America, all hell will break loose. There will be a problem.
There'll be too much water testing.
Right.
There'll be too much.
So
okay.
I
Back
hope
to Canada.
Yeah.
Talking about Canada, though, I believe with the U.S. and Mexico signing the agreement, that will be a call for Canada to go ahead and do something with the United States.
Yeah.
And yet, there are lots of indications show that they are willing to do so.
Yes.
My question is that if Canada signs a trade agreement with the United States, will NAFTA be still there?
Well, not in its original form, no.
NAFTA has
so we don't know what
will
they'll call
have
it
no
again.
ground.
Well, I don't know what you mean, but there will.
The players, United States,
Yeah.
the players of NAFTA,
Right.
United States, Canada, and Mexico,
Right.
right? Anybody else?
It will be a new agreement. Now, what's the miracle, Jack? This is
when Canada joins us with an agreement, though, there will be no longer a NAFTA necessary.
That's correct. No, this
so?
will be a replacement. Yeah. Now, here's what's interesting. The incoming president of Mexico is pretty darn much a leftist socialist, okay? Trudeau in Canada is pretty much a socialist. For America to be between two socialism-oriented countries is very scary. But also the Mexican president coming in and Trump have been getting along really, really, really well, working together really closely on this. And the current president of Mexico and the incoming president, they're all on the same page, and so it's real smooth right now. Let's hope and pray it stays that way.
There is a very beautiful point that needs to be pinpointed at this very moment, though.
Yes, sir.
This agreement is signed exactly during the transaction of the president and the president-elect.
Yes, that's really big, and that's really beautiful.
Right.
Because they were all involved.
You get everybody involved.
Yeah.
There is no way of backing up.
Right. And
right?
Yeah, this is really good. It's good news.
All right.
Okay,
my dear friends, and the second subject is good too. We're talking about Canada is left only one once Canada is gone, I mean of NAFTA,
Comes in.
so their NAFTA probably is about time to put a period to it. Okay, so stay with us. We'll be right back after this short moment, please. Good. Hello, my dear friends, lovely audiences, my dear fellow Americans. Today, once again, is our weekly update. Today, once again, is a moment that I have fun with my friend Ken Hammy. So, once a day, you have such kind of celebration. Life is not bad, huh?
It's a joy to
It's
share
joy,
ourselves
right.
with your viewers.
Life really pays, anyway.
It's a joy.
Yes. The third issue on today's weekly update, I would probably, do you think it is necessary to touch Tiger Woods a little bit?
I think it is, because
Okay,
it's
let's do
something
it.
that's very, very deep. Now, Tiger Woods is a golfer, okay? And he's one of the greatest of all time. He hasn't won for 5 years. He's had a lot of body issues, body problems, and operations and back problems, et cetera, et cetera. But he's trying to do better, and he's doing better now. And then they asked him at a press conference something about, what he thinks about President Trump. Now, it's rude, nasty, and improper to go to a political question when you're a golfer, when you're an athlete, okay? They don't belong together. It's oil and vinegar. They don't belong together. But Tiger Woods just said that, Tiger Woods is his mom's Thailand, and his dad's half black and half white. So he's partially black, and of course, then he's a black guy. Okay, that's what they say. And he said, well, I've known President Trump, Donald, for a while, and we've played golf together, and we've had dinners together, and we get along very nicely. And they said, well, what do you think about him? And he said, he's the president of the United States, and I think we have to respect the president of the United States. And then the radical left media, and particularly some people on ESPN, they're going crazy, demeaning Tiger Woods for not calling President Trump a bunch of evil names. Now, Kellerman and Smith, these two idiots on ESPN, okay, very racist, okay, against, said, well, he's not acting like a black man. He's disrespecting black people by not attacking President Trump. Now, that is beyond absurd, disgusting. They're saying, they want that if you're black, you got to be owned as hateful. You got to stay in your slave status and follow the leader, which is the Democratic Party, which has done nothing for him.
Okay, if you look at the whole incident, though,
Yes, sir.
for Tiger Woods not to say anything, not to call names, that might be his own choice.
Well,
right?
it should be.
Okay.
He's an
Might
individual
be his own
human.
choice. He's an individual.
Right.
He has a right to do it or not to do it. Right?
And they shouldn't even ask
Why?
those questions.
What the bigger issue is that why would that whole thing, the small thing, be made such a big news?
Because
And why is he called names? Is he called names?
Oh, they're calling him
for,
everything.
For not calling Donald Trump names, right? And even saying that what he's acting doesn't look like he is black. So
Yeah,
is
right.
there a certain way who blacks people supposed to act?
Well, the Democratic Party, in my opinion now, just assumes that all immigrants or minorities belong to them. And guess what? They really don't. President Trump was elected with many votes. Right now, his approval in the black community is 29%. The highest that's ever been before is 8 or 10%. It's quite amazing because he's doing things because the unemployment rate for African Americans is the lowest it's ever been. For Latinos, the lowest it's ever been. This is beautiful. In happy hands, busy hands,
For
when you
this
have a job,
past
are happy.
3 or 4 years,
Yeah.
ever since the 99 movement. Remember the 99 movement?
Okay.
The Occupy movement,
Okay.
right?
Oh yeah, that was
I've
evil.
noticed that there is not a single moment that they did not seize. When I say they, I
Yeah.
may not necessarily refer to certain partisan.
Right.
I'm talking about a bunch of people who breathe the same kind of air. That's it.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yeah.
Who exhale the same kind of air.
Yeah.
That's it, right? So there's not a single moment or single issue that they did not grasp it to make a big color issue.
Right. You know, I don't see color. I don't see race.
That's how unhealthy our politics has become.
Well, they look. President Obama, he was president for 8 years. He did a lot to divide the country because he wasn't a uniter. And really, I'm telling you, President Trump he doesn't care if you're black, white, pink, green, orange, doesn't care. He wants you to have a job. And now the consumer index for consumer satisfaction is the highest it's been in 18 years because people say, I have more money to spend. We have tax cuts, a lower tax rate. And retail now is thriving again. In the gross national product index of 4.1 for last quarter, been upgraded to 4.2. It hasn't happened for a long time.
For half a year,
yeah.
Ever since the summer started,
yes, sir.
I was under the impression that the color issue was kind of dying out.
It should, because nobody cares who's black or green.
Fading out.
Right.
Which is good to see.
Of course it is.
Why you have to act a different way than I am just because that we have different faces?
Right. That's idiotic.
We wear a different complex?
Yeah, right.
So
it means nothing.
Doesn't make any sense.
It's
doesn't make any
meaningless.
sense, right?
We have souls, we have personal
Doesn't make
value
any
system, we
sense,
have
right?
characters.
There was, however, for a time, remember Michael Brown time? Right?
Of course I do.
George Zimmerman time?
Right.
Whatsoever, when the misleading was of the media was dragging that much though.
It was.
There was a color issue, and the color being darker and darker and darker. The color itself has been deeper and deeper and deeper.
Well, they want to use color or race as a weapon to attack
it was starting
normal people.
Beginning of the summer.
Yeah.
The color issue seems to be fading away. I thought we were out of it.
You know,
already.
I don't know anybody that cares if you're black, white, Asian, whatever you are. Nobody cares.
I don't even see.
Only the media.
I don't
the
even
party.
see.
Right. I don't see it. No. I don't see.
I
don't see color.
Why people?
I see humanity.
Okay, now, I know. Why people from the bottom of their mind would divide the country according to colors?
Well, because they want to dominate that particular race. I don't even call it a race. It's just an area. We have skin of different color because of environmental necessities to survive. My Swedish skin in Africa, I'd have been dead with 10 cancers, okay? In the beautiful black skin, which is certainly superior in terms of how wrinkle-free they stay and how beautiful it is, they have to have that to survive in the heat in the arid deserts over there. So it's all about survival and the evolution of humanity trying to survive. So it's just so bad to try to use these things to divide people.
Recently, about a month ago, I saw a film called Purge.
Okay.
Did you see that?
No.
Purge.
No.
P-U-R-G-E,
Yeah,
Purge.
I've heard the...
It's actually talking about the color issues.
Uh-huh.
It was to describe a situation once down the road, somewhere many, many years later, where the United States is divided into some kind of a nation that the colors do not accept each other.
Purge it out, yeah, okay.
They even purge it out.
That's horrible, it's just horrible.
They even make plans.
Yeah.
The government then recognize the plans to purge people out.
Yeah.
Right? However, in the beginning, even though that's a fiction, in the beginning you see the backgrounds that will tell the time. Right?
Yeah, okay.
In the background, you see the Occupy movement.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
It was violent.
You see Ku Klux Klan.
Right. That was violent.
Right. Okay. And now, with this thing, with the tiger thing, putting together though, you really have a feeling. It is very risky. It is very dangerous to play that fire again.
It's very detrimental to harmony.
That's a
to
fire.
play it again.
That's a
Right.
fire. You don't want to play
See,
it
and
again.
there's other people like Kanye West and Jim Brown, who's the greatest football player of all time, that are black guys and that are pro-Trump all the way.
There are several.
And they just stand up anyway. So
There have
they're
been several
heroic, too.
times. There have been several times our national problems were triggered by color.
Yeah.
Remember the early '90s, '92 Rodney King issue?
Right. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
he was a bad guy, but he got
No,
beat
no,
up
no,
too
no,
much.
I know.
Yeah.
However bad he was,
Yeah, right.
he was.
Yeah, they
what happened? The
overreacted.
consequences.
Yeah.
The overreaction triggered the riot.
Right.
Right.
The overreaction where the cops beating them
Yeah,
too
yeah,
much.
yeah.
They could have
And
subdued them.
And then the judgment made it even worse to set them free,
Yeah.
so that they have to rejudge it.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Goes on and on and on and on. It took us about 2 years. It took us about 2 years when that color issue subdued.
Yeah, you're right. But
Right.
one thing there with Rodney King, what I remember, which, he got arrested a bunch of times after that too.
Oh, yeah.
But he said, why can't we just all get along? Now that was a message from a nice heart
That is the
in
problem.
his soul.
That has been the problem ever.
And we can.
Right? We are no
If we're allowed
longer we
to.
are no longer supposed to take positions on the left hand side or right hand side, positions of black and white. We are just the human race.
Take care of America.
Take care of America.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right? You push Tiger Wood to say something
Yeah.
bad against Donald Trump
Yeah.
because Donald Trump is white, Tiger Woods supposed to be black. Who made the distinction?
Well, number one, I think it would have even been better if Tiger Woods said, hey, I'm a golfer. I'm not discussing anything else.
How about I'm a human being?
Well, I'm a golfer. I'm not a politician.
My dear friends, we are.
He did good, though.
It was a short issue. It was a short incident, though.
But it's big.
The color issue is big. We really don't want to play that fire again, all right?
Never.
Please do not bring it back on the discussion. The whatever media, there are lots of other issues to keep them busy about, to just to leave this issue alone.
Yeah.
All right.
You're right.
Okay, my dear friends, let's take another short moment out. We come back, we sum it up, we pick another issue, and we sum up. So stay with us. Hello, dear friends, lovely audiences, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show, Jack Chow Show of the East West with the GNE TV. I take lots of pride in this show because it is not only a job, it is an opportunity for me to be pushed to learn so that I learn. And I tell you the truth, during the past 5 or 6 years, I feel that I have a feeling that I went back to school again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, seeing all kinds of people, seeing all kinds of beautiful sets of minds,
Yes.
sharing all the ideas and concepts and discussions over the issues after issues of good ones, the bad ones, whatsoever, so on and so forth, especially at a time when we are mystified with situations. Okay, talking with my friends really made me a strong man, right? And I would like to use this opportunity to express my sincere, profound gratitude to my audiences,
Yes.
especially to my friends who are here as my VIP guests. To share their views with you, including my dear friend Ken Hemming. We go along a lot. We go along far. We pick up issues that we believe that will help the community. This is the weekly update issue. Every Wednesday when we put these issues together, we want to pick up things that is, number one, important. Number two, that will give you a positive connotation. Am I right?
You know what you said, you have so many guests that you talk with, and they have a various knowledge on many subjects that you really have absorbed into your own mind and your own skill set. And you have been going to college for free, so to speak, with your variety of guests on so many topics. I'm jealous of what you're able to do.
So I'm going back.
You're doing great.
I'm going back to school. All right.
You should write a book.
Thank you very much. So this is a big school. This is a bigger school.
It's a big school.
Any
Right.
Well, bigger
right.
than any schools I went.
You're right.
Right.
You're
Okay.
right.
Anyway, on the last one of the listed issues for today, we want to touch base a little bit about consumer confidences. Okay. Consumer confidence is really a big indicator about our economy because it is related to your pocket. And your
Yeah, right.
pocket,
It's a little more full.
The size of your pocket related to your income.
Yes, sir.
And the income of your household is related to your job.
Yes.
Is that stable or not stable?
That's a
You're
good
paid,
word.
well paid, not well paid?
Yeah.
Okay, your take about the numbers. It is about 18th year, right?
18, this is the highest consumer confidence index in about 18 years. And you know, all you have to do is go to a mall and you see more people smiling and you see more people purchasing. You know, when we had some pretty rough times where the economy was just flat, you don't see as many as smiles. You don't see people walking with the confidence. Now, one of the most beautiful aspects of our economy now is when really we had very high unemployment rates and there weren't many jobs available. Now there are more jobs available than people looking for these jobs. Now that's huge. Now what that does to a person, if you're working at a place, you got a nice job, but it's not your dream job, you're not afraid to look for another job, to upgrade yourself, or to do something you might like more enjoyably. So people now have the confidence that I know I can find a job.
It is not
And
what the
that's
paper
beautiful.
says. It is not what the paper says. It is not what the TV says.
I know.
When you go from place to place, restaurant to restaurant, shop to shop,
Oh, yeah.
you do see the signs posted on the door,
I love
on
that.
the window,
Yeah, help
say,
wanted.
help wanted.
Right, exactly.
Help wanted.
Yeah,
Right.
and you look on the computer on the some of the sites that are looking for people where you put your resume on and whatever.
Yeah.
I am telling you, it is a time of optimism. Attitude is in a positive way.
You check LA Times.
Optimism is huge.
Yeah. You check LA Times about the job hunting section.
Classifieds,
You see lots of advertising.
right?
Looking for help.
Yeah, at all levels of intellect too. This is really important.
Exactly. And also I noticed the high skill level jobs are opening up too.
They are jobs for
Normally those job positions are, well, not easy to open because people kind of follow the hierarchy.
Yeah.
Right, going upstairs with the ladders thing like that. You don't want to look around for the higher position jobs.
yeah.
Right?
Right.
What you do, you follow the hierarchy, like that kind of thing.
Right,
Okay.
right. Grow within the
But
organization.
now,
Right.
but now you see
Which I like. You've
the
done that
higher
here.
position. Yeah, sure. You look at the LA classified section.
Yes, sir.
Right. You look for a management position.
Yes.
Right. There are lots of management positions in the advertising over there.
Mm-hmm.
IT, of course, is a special area
It's
that
pretty
it
big.
needs a lot. But if you graphically say management,
Right.
or roughly say management level, you refer to higher skills of administration kind of workers. Well, that person you need one. That doesn't mean one job. That means to supervise a lot of stuff undergoing.
In Jack, I know a lot of craftsmen, okay? Like I've got a handyman.
Craftsmen?
Yeah, well, not drafts, but craftsmen. Like
Craftsmen,
plumbers. I've got a handyman that helped me put 2 new shower heads because I might have flooded myself out if I did it myself. They are very busy. Construction industry, is busy. I mean, I live in Pasadena. There's stuff under construction everywhere. I think we end up with too many people and too many cars in that city, so I don't really support that. But the jobs, you do not have to get a 4-year college degree to have a very fine life. A plumber can work his way up to $80,000, $100,000 fairly rapidly as you develop your skill set. Construction, any talent, okay, that is developed, and you do the best you can, and it's competitive with others, you're going to have a good life.
Plus,
we've got too many people. Oh, let's major in political science. Well, what do you do with it when you get out? Nothing, except cause problems.
Plus, in this country, though, you can do your higher education anywhere down the road.
That's right.
Much years later.
I totally agree with take a year off after high school or something, see what the world is like, and then start your education.
Instead of taking a big chunk of student loan,
yes,
when you make nothing to go to university, to carry that loan all the way down.
Right.
Suppose you study medicine, right?
Yeah.
8 years, 10 years later, you end up like $200,000
in debt.
Debt on your shoulder.
Right.
Instead of doing that, why don't you take 2 or 3 years time to work those money out,
build some
big some accumulations or saving whatsoever,
then go
for
back.
Self-supporting.
Yeah.
And it's rescue. It's an emancipation of your own life.
That's right. That's the right word.
Right?
It's emancipated.
Emancipated.
Yeah, that's real good, Jack. Because but at least now, I don't know the numbers, but I believe the percentage of those graduating that have jobs is increasing. That's big.
A day ago.
What's worse than graduating and you don't have a job?
Yeah, a day ago, I had Mr. Mike Sinfendorfer, who is the candidate for the California Assembly House 58 district.
Okay.
And he says, if I'm elected, I'm going to call on people to start working early.
Okay.
To get yourself financially independent. Before financially independent. Financially independent before you pursue for your higher education.
I like it.
Instead of depending on your parent or bank loans, he says, I'm a banker. I really hate to loan the young kids lots of debts.
Because you're creating a burden on their shoulders.
So that they carry the burden on the shoulder.
Yeah.
So, and down the road, before they make money, they are getting old already.
And also, I highly recommend enlist in the armed forces for 2 years, and then you get some college education help when you're done. Very nice help, actually.
Sure.
And I also recommend in the community colleges for your first 2 years that are affordable.
You're in the money business. Anyway,
Yes,
you're
sir.
a CPA, right?
Right.
So correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
If I make a call to my audiences to let the young people, while the economy is doing so big, so good, well, take advantage of the situation.
Right.
To work for a little money.
Yeah.
To become independent, financially independent.
Yeah.
Then later, when the economy comes back whatsoever, and then you decide to do anything else.
Right. I totally agree. These kids are burdened, and I was blessed. I could pay my daughter's tuitions and everything, so she graduated with a master's degree with no debt. But not everybody can do that. And
Only
not
she
even
was
every
lucky.
parent wants
Only
to
she
do
was
it.
lucky.
Well,
she was lucky.
She wasn't lucky. I earned the opportunity to provide that blessing to her through hard work. Yeah.
So while the economy is doing good, while the economy is so well, because we are at a record high for the past 18 years.
We are. In the attitude.
Consumer
everything.
confidence, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I need to go to Kmart to get myself a lot of bed setting because my wife hates the old setting.
Okay.
So,
well, also great time to go to Osh, which is going to close all its stores in America because they're going to have all kinds of incredible sales at Osh Orchard Supply.
Okay, I'll
I
give
recommend
it a try.
that.
All right.
It's good.
Okay, my dear friend. We on today's weekly update summed up quite a bit for important issues. And I believe the last one, especially the last one, gives lots of confidence to, I even made it my call for young people, while the economy is good,
Optimism.
to earn some money to establish yourself before you pursue for next education stuff, so on and so forth, right? My dear friends, thank you very much for watching. We're a little over time, but I try to squeeze myself in. To Cam, thank you very much
Jack,
for sharing. All right,
thank you
for the good news.
Love your viewers.
Yeah,
Thank
love
you.